The following is a production of Stevenson Media.
This is the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Houston Sports Nation, Nick Stevenson.
All right. Thank you so much. Please be seated. My fellow Houstonians, welcome to this Houston Sports State of the Union podcast press briefing. We're going to be previewing the Jags and the Texans coming up on Sunday. Long story short, if there is such thing as a must-win game this early in the season, this is it. You got the Indianapolis Colts are already 2-0. The Jags are 1-1. If you go 0-3, you're already going to be behind the 8 ball. Not to mention that means the best you can do going into Baltimore in week 5, if you can beat a rookie Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans, is you'll be going into that game at 1-3. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The idea of that terrifies me. But I'm not terrified about this game, to be honest with you. I will remind you 2 seasons ago, the Houston Texans started out the season 0-2. And their get-right game came in Jacksonville versus these Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, it is a slightly different iteration. Liam Cohen has got the Jacksonville offense moving. I believe they're scoring 27 points a game, which you do the math. What are the Texans scoring? Hold on a second. 19, 9. Yeah, they're at the bottom of the league with their offense. I have the points per game right here. I just switched it up. Excuse me. I am going to come on. Oh my goodness. What is going on with the internet right now? Here we go. I want to give you the exact number. So my screen refreshed, so I apologize. Here we are. The Texans have only scored 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. They have 2 total touchdowns. Man. It doesn't have the points. I apologize. Anyways, they're averaging less than 27 points a game, obviously. And I'm not doing quick math in my head. I should have pulled that up. I'll be honest with you. I just got off work this morning and slept a little bit longer than I wanted to. So I kind of rushed getting into this. But that's okay, because I appreciate anybody who will join the show. And I appreciate everybody for tuning into the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. Really quick, I have a lot of work to do to get everything back organized. I hadn't been working on this channel in quite some time. So I appreciate everybody's patience. I plan on making an entirely different segment of videos for press briefing. That's going to be individual videos for each of our teams. There will be Rockets press briefings. There will be Texans press briefings as we have today. And there will also be Astros. And hell, maybe I'll get into some other stuff, some U of H. Maybe we'll get into some high school football. I recently had an opportunity to make a show for another network. It very quickly fell apart, and I don't know how much detail I'm going to get into that. But long story short, some of my time has been freed up so that I can start doing more of my own content. And that's what I plan on doing. I want to build this network. I want to build this channel. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. If you have not followed any of the Instagram, YouTube, I am Podhost Nick on TikTok. I definitely plan on ramping up production, and I'm hoping to actually bring in some friends of mine to help me do some other shows and just building a little network. But right now, we've got Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. I still am doing Twin Toros with my man Ruben, and I guess this will be the official announcement of it, but I'll have to post it on socials. We are moving Texans Bloodline to the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast channel. Scara and I will be continuing to do that show. It'll just no longer be for the other company we were doing it for. But let's get back on track here, man, and talk about the Houston Texans. Obviously, their offense has been abysmal. Their defense has been good. Their defense has been put in some bad situations. I told you guys a couple of days ago, I'm not completely absolving them from any of these losses. and I don't think that I should, because especially against the Buccaneers, it was a death by 1,000 cuts. They were just slowly and methodically worn out in that game, and the offense once again didn't do anything to help. But things just aren't going good all around for the Houston Texans. And as Coach DeMeco Ryans would tell you, it does start with him. The encouraging part about that is DeMeco Ryans, in his tenure, has not lost a road game in the division of the AFC South. Now, this is my superstitious year, so I'm going to knock on wood and hope that I didn't just jinx it. However, I am optimistic about this game because, number one, as good as the Jaguars offense has looked, the Texans defense has held some very powerful offenses to very low scoring games in 2 games in a row. We're all going to be staring at the offense, obviously. Is Nick Caley going to be able to put together anything that resembles a competent NFL offense? When he was asked by the media about why there's been not very much motion pre-snap in his offense, which is kind of a staple of many of his mentors, including Sean McVay, and a lot of the, Josh McDaniels in New England when they were there together. That's been Bill O'Brien even did a little bit of motion in his offense when he was coaching in the pros. So these are all, ties to Nick Caley, or coaches that he's been in the vicinity of. And I guess many of the media members are wondering, like, hey, how come your offense doesn't look like any of theirs? His answer was simply, sometimes we'll do that, sometimes we won't. When I hear that, I hear game plan offense, and that scares me because I think we're all familiar with the term when Bill O'Brien was here. Anytime he was asked about a game plan, why the offense was staggering, he started talking about how the game plan for every game is not the same. You adjust. And I understand that to a certain extent. But when you're like completely changing the offense every week and you have a bunch of players who aren't getting the concept of the offense from week to week, like, you might want to find some things that work and then stick with them. Because in the first 2 games, the Texans have not found anything that works. And to be honest with you, I don't mind if they throw everything they've done so far out the window. But I'm hoping that if they have success versus the Jaguars, running the ball, passing the ball, pass protection, whatever it is, if they find some things that work, at least in basic principle, like, please try to find a way to carry that over to the next week. I understand you're not going to have the same game plan for every team, but it gave me the heebie-jeebies because it reminded me so much of Bill O'Brien and what he used to tell the media whenever there was questions about why the hell his offense, why it was so difficult for the players to run the offense. Was it too complicated? And I think we asked that same question about Bobby Slowick as well. Is his offense too complicated? What is the reason that the offensive line looks like completely lost out there? They don't look much better under Nick Caley so far. But I don't want to go into this episode with the same doom and gloom that we've had the past 2 weeks, and rightfully so. But I have a lot of optimism that, number one, DeMeco Ryans will have the team ready, because I think they understand the stakes of this game and they know what's ahead of them. So hold on to whatever you have to. If you have to tell the team, hey, man, we've never lost here, let's not make that happen now, cool. But I think we just need the offense to support the defense. And I think if you don't allow the defense to be worn out for 4 quarters, there's a good chance if you go into the 4th quarter with a lead, they're going to have the energy to close it out. Derek Stingley Jr. has been fantastic. Outside of a couple of bad plays in the first game, he pretty much shut down Mike Evans, who's still a really great receiver. I'm going to be looking at that matchup. He'll probably be covering Brian Thomas Jr., who has had a little bit of the dropsies this season. But you also have Travis Hunter, who honestly offensively has not looked very good. But you also have, they have a running game in Travis Etienne. He's been pounding the rock. The Texans struggled very much with the run game against the Buccaneers. So I'm not going to say that this isn't going to be a challenge. I expect it to be a close game. But something about going into Jacksonville just switches things on for this team. And I'm expecting a close game, but I am expecting the offense to please. There was a slight improvement last week. Score enough points, let this defense do its thing. Trevor Lawrence, do not let him beat you with your legs. Please, no stupid hits, Aziz Al-Shaair. Like, that it's a division game. You can usually throw record out the window. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jacksonville's going to be live. They got a new head coach. They have a better record than the Texans right now, so they're filling themselves. It's going to be a really good game. Right now, the Jaguars are, if I'm not mistaken, actually favored by 2.5. I know you guys love when I do this in real time. Give me just a second. Jags versus Texans odds. Last I checked, it was 2.5. On the money line. Yeah, Jags are a minus 125. Texans are a plus 105. The over-under is 44 points. I'm going to take the under until this offense proves they can do something other than that. The point spread, Jags are now 1.5 point favorites. So 1.5 point favorites at home. The NFL basically says it's a pick 'em. Yeah, I don't know. If the over under is 44, if they go over that over under 44 points, I trust the Texans defense a little bit more to get that stop that they need. Why? Don't ask me. Maybe it's just me being optimistic and me being a homer. I just feel like the Texans are going to win this game because they have to win this game. There really is no other choice. Let's check out the injury report really quick, see who the Texans are going to be playing with or without. All right, give me just a second. All right. In 2 practices, Jalen Smith, cornerback, did not practice with a hamstring injury. Jake Andrews was limited. I don't know how much I like Jake Andrews playing on the offensive line anyway. I guess can't be any worse than Jarrett Patterson. He was limited in practice the last 2 days. Braxton Berrios limited in practice with the hamstring. Christian Kirk limited in practice. At least he's practicing. Kamari Lassiter was limited with a knee. Jalen Petrie has a rib injury. He was limited. And then Darren Taylor, defensive end, with a hip, limited in practice. But everyone at least practiced. So there's no one that it looks like is going to be out so far. I would like to see Christian Kirk back in this game. I'm sure he wants to play in this game. He wants to go and defeat his old team, the team that essentially gave up on him. They were getting ready to cut him when the Houston Texans swooped in to get a trade done for him. So it would be nice. They need some type of shot in the arm on the offensive end. Because if the Texans score less than 20 points, there's a chance they don't win the game. Because as good as this defense has been, asking them time and time again to go out there, once again, the play differential last week, 72 plays for the Buccaneers, 46 for the Texans. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for the defense, which I'm not, but I mean, the offense has got to help out. Complementary football. It's what D'Amico Ryans is always preaching about. Complementary football. Last week, the defense for most of the game did their part. Special teams was amazing. The eyes are 100% on this offense, on this offensive line, and on C.J. Stroud. We cannot keep absolving C.J. Stroud of responsibility. I got a chance to watch the all-22 of the Buccaneers game. There were wide receivers that were completely open multiple times that he just did not throw the ball to. That didn't have anything to do with pressure. These were moments, I understand he was pressured almost 40% of the time, but there were moments when he had time to throw and there were receivers open and he just did not pull the trigger or he missed them with a bad throw. So CJ Stroud is on notice in this game. Fortunately, like I said, 2 years ago, he had one of the best games of his short career. Unfortunately, we don't have Tank Dell. I want to see some of these rookies get involved in the offense, man. Every time Jalen Noel touches the ball, he's limited. He's touched it very little in the flow of the offense. But every time he touches the ball in special teams, something great happens. So I want to see Jalen Noel get involved. I want to see Jaden Higgins get involved. I want to see these Houston Texans offense look like a competent NFL offense. And if that happens, I think they win this game. I want to go ahead and do a score prediction of 20-17. until this team scores more than 19 points, I'm not guessing them to score very high. I hope they surprise me. I hope they score 40. Get Nico Collins involved. Get some of these rookies involved. The run game really, really concerns me, and the defense's ability to stop the run really concerns me. But I'm going to stay optimistic because they're only 2 games into the season. There's 15 more of these things left. You win this game, you got a good chance of winning against Nashville next week. And then you're headed into the Baltimore Ravens game with at least a little bit of optimism that you've started to figure some things out. That is the best case scenario. If we come back next week and we're talking about a Houston Texans loss, it won't be long till we start talking draft, because if they go 0-3, God forbid 0-4, headed into Baltimore, then this season's cooked. Knocking on the wood again. I'm looking for a Houston Texans win, and I think it's going to happen. So, guys, thank you for joining me for this press briefing. If you had a chance to check it out, I will be adding all of my links and a link tree in the description of this video once it is done going live. And I'll be spending some time today organizing my YouTube page, organizing some of my other shows, and I look forward to putting out a more consistent amount of content. And I hope for our live shows, you'll be able to join me, and I hope for the recorded shows, you guys will be able to tune in. Please subscribe, please like, please share with your friends and family. Let them know Houston Sports State of the Union podcast is back. Once I shake the rust off, man, I'm ready to do this thing. So I will see you guys after the game. I'll see you guys for Texans Bloodline. I'll see you guys for Twin Toros. I will see you for a reaction from the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. In the meantime, you know what I want you to do? I want you to stay 10 toes down for the H. I love you, and good night.
This has been the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast, hosted by Nick Stevenson. Tune in next week for more news and analysis of your favorite Houston teams. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, the app formerly known as Twitter, if that's even really still a thing. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.